Hey, welcome back to Pushing Buttons, a video game podcast, part of the Geek Freaks Network. This is Kyle.
Now I'm Frank.
And that is Frank. Yes, two of us are back again. And we just are fresh off of the Game Awards. We saw Elden Ring take home the big prize, which I'm personally really happy to see. But I know, Frank, you were rooting for God of War, but it is what it is.
I acknowledge Elden Ring was a very, very good game this year. It's one of those years, like keep saying, you can't complain. We were happy on so many fronts.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a pretty good presentation. It gave us, quite a lot of game reveals to sink our teeth into and get excited for in the coming year. And we thought this week, what better way to celebrate that than to give our thoughts on our most anticipated games of 2023.
Yeah.
And I guess to kick things off, we can talk about the award itself during the Game Awards, the most anticipated game. And the one that took it home was, of course, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I would say easily this out of that list, this is my most anticipated game. How about you?
I've got maybe 15 games on my list, and that's not one of them.
Wow, that's something. That's something else.
I did not care for Breath of the Wild at all, and so
I know you and Kevin both,
yeah,
and that's a shame. But go ahead.
Well, it's just one of those things where if you don't care for the first one, why would you like the second one? I hope it does well. I think it's going to do very well for those who like the game, like the world. But if it's gonna still be on that Switch, it's gonna struggle, and it's gonna be on that Switch. So what are you gonna? They didn't announce a new Switch. That's what we should have gotten.
They didn't. Yeah, I think we've had the Switch now for 5 years, almost 6.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the hardware is starting to show its age for sure.
Yeah.
And for me anyway, I felt like Breath of the Wild was a breath of fresh air. I've used this analogy before for the series, and I feel like what Tears of the Kingdom has the potential to do is to innovate upon that formula and make it even better than before. Like in regards to the first game, the dungeons were easily the least exciting part because they were constricting in how you approach the gameplay. But in the open world, you could experiment however you wanted with traversal and combat. So I think if they honed that aspect of the game and made the dungeons like a more fun, interactive experience, and open it up to player freedom, I think it'll only be a better game for it.
That's by far its strength. The parts I did like was when I would try to figure out how to get to point A to point B, or oh man, these guys are whooping my butt. Let's think how I could approach this fight. That's by far its strength. And so if they were to do that for everything, the dungeons did just feel like a puzzle that was stopping the game for a while. So I think you're right there, 100%.
So with the other nominees, we had Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, and I can't remember the other one.
Not a good sign.
Which is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Any of those strike out at you?
Starfield's on my list, section number 1 on my list. Bethesda doesn't make a new franchise often. Fallout, the Elder Scrolls. Oh my God, Frank, I swear. But I mean, like, they don't make new stuff very often. When they do, it's going to get a lot of gameplay. It's going to get a lot of story. We're not going to be disappointed. Even a bad... Like, think about this, guys. Think of the worst Fallout game. Fallout 4, maybe.
Yes, I agree.
You still play the shit out of it. I've replayed that game 3 times now. Like, you still play it a lot.
You do. Yes. That's the strength of those games.
Right.
They're highly replayable.
Adding another story to that franchise, one in space, I know I'm going to play it a lot. And I'm a fan of Outer Worlds. And Outer World is what we're looking at here, basically. So I think this is going to be a very welcomed addition to the industry. I think it's going to be... We need games like this because we're getting too many of those live service games like Fallout 76. Actually, that is the worst of the Fallout games if you want to include it.
True. Yeah, that's indeed the worst. I think it's going to be... between these two games alone, it's a big year, but there's so many more. And that other nominee I've, just looked it up is Hogwarts Legacy, which,
right.
for a lot of people, that's also hotly anticipated. because we haven't really gotten a good Harry Potter game.
Yeah,
My
that's
wife
gonna
in
be good.
particular is really excited for it.
Oh, Squeaks has already got his robe and his wand ready to go. I know that motherfucker's playing in a robe. I guarantee it. He's such a. We've already gone over which houses we are with him. He's so crazy for it. I'm like, should I start reading the books just to kind of like pick at him a little bit? And he's like, yes, here's my copies. He's like crazy for it.
Yeah, I too was not a Harry Potter fan, but my wife got me into it. I did read the books, and
Yeah,
I really enjoyed them. They were really great reads. But the movies took it to a new level. I did see all of those before reading the books, and with the game, it's actually shaping up to be really, I think promising. I mean, there is some aspects of it that kind of look hokey. Like it doesn't feel like a fully realized like open world game. I think there's going to be like sections you can transport in between two. Like going into the outer forests or whatever,
right.
going within Hogwarts, and it might be segmented. It won't be a true open world thing.
I think it's going to be that. I think it would have to be right
Yeah.
because if you were to like, first off, a fully open world Hogwarts would be just so freaking cool. But that's a lot to ask for, and this game's already been delayed. I think a couple times really, and
Indeed.
so
Yeah.
I think we're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed again. First of all, and to me, I'm worried about the mini games because I'm seeing a lot of things where it's like, oh, you have to learn this new thing with your wand, and it looks like a little mini game, and those can just kill a new game. So I'm hoping it's not bad, but I'm excited to see a Hogwarts that's not just Harry Potter. That's just
Yeah.
like the actual school.
My main worry about it is that it won't be polished enough, and what I mean
Yeah.
by that is there'll be like gameplay segments that won't feel quite as intuitive to play, and they'll be like, how do you control like wands or controlling flying around the world or the forest or whatever,
Yeah.
and all these different types of gameplay styles, will they mesh well together? And I think that's my main concern going into the game. But what they did nail was the atmosphere of Hogwarts itself, so that I think is its biggest strength.
So I'm looking forward to that, but I want to throw out this real quick thing. Last year when we were doing our most anticipated game, you know what we said? We said game of the year. This is last year. We said game of the year is going to be either Elden Ring or God of War. We called that last year, guys. Just throwing that out there. This year, here we go. Get ready for Frank's prediction.
Oh
Game of the
boy,
year
here we go.
is going to be either Starfield or Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And that is going to be a day one purchase for me. It might be a collector's edition purchase for me. It comes with a lightsaber, boys, and it looks freaking cool. And so I might
Nice.
be grabbing that. We also have, well, okay. So let's talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. What do they need to build on from the first game? First off, the graphics already somehow look better, which I didn't think was going to be
Yeah,
possible.
we should mention we got a gameplay demo, and it was the
Yeah.
only gameplay demo we got during the Game Awards.
Hmm.
And wow, it looks fantastic. Like I can't wait to continue this story and explore further the impact of the first game's ending.
Yes. Yeah, and I care about this character a lot more than I do a lot of other Jedi's. Um, I think Cal Kestis needs his own series at some point, like actual like Disney Plus series. I think that would be a really smart move.
Oh no, I've said this before, but I think we should get a Star Wars movie
Hmm.
with Tom Holland as Cal Kestis. And I know
No
that
way.
is like a dismissal of the original actor.
Yeah.
I mean, he could probably do it. I mean, that's
Oh,
probably
he's
a better call actually. Now that I
yeah.
think
He
on it.
plays Joker in Gotham. He plays in
Yeah.
Shameless. He's a very good actor, actually. I would love to see him take the role. I think that would be such great casting because they do so much mocap. You could really just grab everybody from the game and put them into a live action. I think it would be just making the story more accessible for others. I think is a
Yeah,
good move.
like Chris Judge and Kratos. Like, there's that debate going on who should play
Oh yeah.
Kratos, and you and I both agree like he should play him. He is
He said
Kratos.
he said more lines in his speech than he did in the entire
Oh, I know
60-hour game.
that was incredible. Like, I didn't know how that
Oh
is
man.
possible, but it happened.
I think they didn't plan on playing music to get anybody off the stage until he was speaking, and then they had 5-6 minutes to figure it out and get music playing because wow, he just and poor Al
That was
Pacino,
long acceptance
old Al Pacino, just
speech.
sitting there waiting to escort him back was like, my legs are hurting, bro. Let's call it a
Oh,
day.
I know. I felt bad for him. He must have
Yeah.
been like weak at the knees at that point.
And about halfway through, he's even like something about long speeches, like, bro, you're going too long. He's amazing though. I was happy with it still. I'm happy he won. Okay, so yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. The graphically, it's beautiful. I think it's going to be an excellent game, and I think it's one of the two big Game of the Year contenders.
That's a good pick. Yeah, I think that has a really good chance of going much further in the Game of the Year category than it did the first game, Fallen Order.
Yeah, well, Fallen Order again was one of the 2018 class. So good luck.
2019.
That was 2019. I thought it was 2018. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
What
It was
beat it then?
overshadowed by Sekiro,
Oh, stupid.
which is a fantastic game. So,
Yeah. It was too hard for me to
but
play, so it's stupid. There's a reason Elden Ring's stupid too.
what can I say?
Yep. What's
Well,
another one you're looking forward to?
Yeah, let me just knock out the other two nominees of that award for
Okay,
most
here we go.
anticipated. There was Final Fantasy 16, which we
Yeah.
also got gameplay of, and that is shaping up to be really cool. Actually, like it's getting me excited to
Yeah.
play a Final Fantasy game aside from the MMO again.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, really, actually, thinking of the next Game of the Year awards, that's a very big contender, and so is Zelda. And the Mario bias, I mean, not the Mario, the Nintendo bias might take the lead, actually. We're
Yeah,
looking at a
Nintendo
very
hasn't
good year
won
in
Game of the
gaming.
Year since Breath of the Wild, so I think
Yeah,
this is their year again to take it.
right. It's going to be a good year. Uh, I'm going to try this Final Fantasy. I'm going to try it out. That's my promise to you folks. I don't play them often, but I will play this one.
You know, I've been outspoken about Final Fantasy as a franchise for the main games,
Hmm.
since 13 came out. There's so many tropes that have been overused, and we've seen that time and time again with 15 as well.
Hmm.
14, really departed from those, and it benefited because of that. And I think that's why it's able to stand on its own. But 16 will be I hope to be a true return to the original Final Fantasy single player formula. And that's what I'm most excited to see, is if that will actually pay off. And with Yoshi P, the director of 14, directing 16, I think we'll see that happen. He's a
Yeah.
fantastic director, and he is so transparent with everything he does to his fans that I think he'll deliver the goods.
Do you think with a combination of Fallout 76 and Jedi Fallen Order, we have a new appreciation for the single player story driven games?
Well, yeah, after God of War Ragnarok too, I think totally.
I'm not even that. So I'm saying like before, because like God of War Ragnarok, like if we're looking at right now, we have a lot of them. We have a good amount of them. It was
Sure.
something that was real big back in the day. Then I remember when Jedi Fallen Order came out, the big deal was that, hey guys, it's not going to be live service. It's actually just going to be a story game. And then the original God of War was that way too. Well, the original of the
Yes.
reboots.
No
So I wonder if
DLC
those,
to like extend the story.
yeah. And then to double back on that, Fallout 76 was so atrocious that people were like, no, go back to the single player story driven game. So I wonder now that we're looking at 2023,
Gotcha.
we see these big hitters that are all that, Starfield and whatnot, that are all that. I wonder if those games kind of ushered in a resurgence of a classic genre, you know?
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think people, as a community of gamers, like we're tired of these games that overstay their welcome. Like we
Yeah.
see that time and time again with games that feature battle passes or season passes and all that nonsense. And it's great to play a game such as God of War or
Hmm.
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that are complete experiences from start to finish. And we need more of those because, they're kind of dying out a little bit
Yeah.
until Sony ironically brought them back with Last of Us and God of War
Last of Us is a good one.
and other games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah. Who knew? Who knew Sony would make such good Western storytelling games? Uh, I think a new franchise that will be in that vein is Forspoken. I have a lot of faith in
Hmm.
Forspoken. It's supposed to come out this year and it got pushed back. I'm a little concerned by my hype. It reminds me of Biomutant. I thought Biomutant was going to be very good and it fell flat on his face. I'm hoping it's good. Have you seen much for Forspoken?
Outside of the trailers, no, but they did announce a demo for PlayStation 5. Did you download it?
I did not, but will be immediately after this.
Yeah.
What? Holy!
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
writing it
demo
on my
that
hand
came
right
out
now.
for the Game Awards. Yeah.
Oh my god! See, I had to leave early
Well,
on
I'm glad I
the
could deliver
damn
that
Game
good news to
Awards.
you.
I appreciate that. I will be playing the hell out of that. The traversal in that game, the speed, like the combat in the game is lightning fast. I can't wait to
Hmm.
try that out. That's gonna be cool. Open world, fast pace. I mean, it's everything I want. That's cool.
Going a different
What's
direction, I just want to, briefly mention this. Like the other nominee, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh, that's right.
Like to me, along with the Dead Space remake, I'm super excited as a horror fan because Callisto came out earlier this month, and
Hmm.
it was okay. It wasn't the best game. Like I think its main detriment was that it was trying to market itself as a Dead Space spiritual successor, but it did not deliver that at all.
Oh
It was
wow,
more of like a spiritual successor to The Last of Us, and it was just straight
interesting.
linear gameplay, and it wasn't very, open.
Hmm.
But going into the new year, we have the Dead Space remake and the Resident Evil 4 remake, and I'm really excited to revisit those worlds. And I think both Capcom and EA Motive are going to knock these out of the park. Like just
Yeah.
from how open they've been with the design process and how they're rebuilding these assets and redesigning things for like a new perspective, like delving deeper into the horror. That's exciting to me, and I can't wait
Yeah.
to play them.
Yeah. That's Dead Space is on my list. I'm starting to venture into that horror genre a little bit more. Alien Isolation was a really good game when I was
Oh,
playing that,
fantastic!
you
Yep.
know, and so I'm trying to dive into it. And I think I was gonna get Callisto Protocol, but of course, just bad timing, right? We just had way too many damn games to play. I don't know how you ended up
Oh yeah.
beating it amazingly. Uh,
Well,
I
I felt invested because I was really looking forward to it, and
yeah,
out of everybody on this network, like I was the main advocate for it.
you're the horror
But
guy, honestly. You're the
it
horror
it did
game guy.
fall short of its goals, and I
Yeah.
think with time, if there's a sequel, I would love a sequel to it.
Hmm.
I think it could really become a great franchise.
Which was worse, Callisto Protocol or Scorn?
Scorn.
That's pretty
That's
easy.
easy. That's not even a no-brainer.
I'm looking forward to Dead Space though. I'm gonna be getting that. I think as much as I heard you talk praise of it, I'm looking forward to getting into it. And I've actually listened to Small Beans. It's one of my favorite podcasts. Actually, I'm behind on them, but I'm a patron. Uh, they did a really good deep dive on the story of it, and it was very very interesting. It's worth checking out.
Oh, I love the Dead Space lore. Like
Yeah.
one of my favorite all-time horror stories. It's incredible.
I'm gonna throw out the next one for me is gonna be Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. I already was looking
Yeah.
forward to this, right? I eventually will play Gotham Knights too. I
Oh, I
just gotta
know.
throw that out there, but I'm already looking forward to this. But the fact that we have Kevin Conroy now playing Batman in it, I
That is so bittersweet.
I wonder. Do you think he might kind of maybe get a nod or at least a nomination for Performance of the Year?
Good question. I think with everything else that's coming out, I don't know if he'll win it.
Hmm.
As far as
Yeah,
nomination goes, probably will.
yeah, or at least an honorable mention maybe at the Game Awards. I would appreciate for them to do that because this is exciting because it's going to be his final ride as Batman.
Yeah.
But let's not forget that all the Arkham games, I mean, so good in those. So, did he play in
I
every
I
one of the Arkham games?
I did.
No, I'm
I
sorry. Did
did.
did, did Kevin Conroy play in all of them?
Yes, yeah.
He did. Okay.
Except for Origins, which was the prequel. I think
Okay.
that was somebody else, but I did play Arkham Knight for the first time because I was waiting for something for some reason to play. I don't know why it took me this
Yeah.
long, but wow, it just really hits harder now that Kevin Conroy's gone,
Yeah.
and that ending just hits so much harder. And it's
He's
it's kind of nice that we're getting a little bit more
yeah.
before he's gone forever. And
It's a shame he's a Batman, and we're gonna have to like beat his ass up. But yeah, yeah. Or he's a bad guy. I said Batman, but bad guy. But yeah.
not even then, but Rocksteady, like they haven't had a game since Arkham Knight. So
Yeah.
I'm also really curious to see how they take that formula further because they're a fantastic development studio too.
They are. They are. They make good stuff. Um, what do you got next on your list?
Well, we got some indies that I'm looking forward to.
Hmm.
Can't go wrong with the indies. My biggest one is going to be Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh, that's
Will
right.
it come out next year? I hope it does. It's going to
Yeah.
be on Game Pass. It was shown off in the summer showcase for Xbox in 2022. And yeah, I can't sing enough praises of Team Cherry. Like they're incredible game developers. Team of Three made that incredible game Hollow Knight. It's been almost 6 years now since it came out.
It's a
So I'm
gorgeous game. Like,
it's
oh
so
man,
beautiful. Like everything about it is incredible. Like the sound, the music.
the combat is
Um,
crisp and clean, man. It's
yeah,
crazy.
combat feels really good once you get further enough in the game, and
Yeah,
just the visual art style is. I love it. I love everything about it. I can't wait for Silk Song.
yeah. That's I totally spaced on that. That's a good one. Would you consider Hades 2 an indie game?
At this point, yeah, I think
Yeah.
Supergiant is still indie. They had a really great trailer with Hades 2. That was, I think, the biggest surprise of the
Oh
show
yeah.
was seeing a sequel to Hades. Because, as you mentioned, this is the first sequel we've ever gotten to a Supergiant game.
Hmm.
So I'm really curious to see how they'll take the formula even further. It looks like they're going to be doing more of the same, but
Yeah.
hopefully in a bigger, broader sense.
Different story. Um, they. I was already just gonna be on board, of course, but then they showed just a little bit of the gameplay, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's Hades!" Like it actually feels like Hades again. Uh, we're just getting early access, so I don't know how much we can say it's anticipated. Like it's not gonna be full
Right.
release, won't be game of the year stuff, but um,
Indeed.
doesn't mean that I won't be as fast as possible in that early access. I was reading in a little bit today on the early access process for the original Hades game and how much the game changed and updated throughout time. And I'm excited to jump in on that and see how Supergiant changes the game over time because they're such a perfectionist team. I would like to see how much they're going to hammer this thing out.
Yeah, I think over time, Supergiant always knocks it out of the park. Like we know that they deliver quality,
Hmm.
and yeah, it'll be really cool to see how they change up the formula for Hades with Hades 2.
Yeah,
Another indie I was really happy to see more of during the Game Awards was Replaced. This was that pixel art that
that's
kind of looked
right.
3D. It takes place in like an alternate 80s, and it looks
Hmm.
really like dystopian sci-fi. And I thought it looked amazing. Like this game looks incredible. I don't know how
That
the gameplay will be, but just visually, like I, I'm all in. It looks
yeah,
really cool, really unique.
that trailer was cool to watch. Make sure you guys check out the trailer. I think we might have retweeted it. If not, I'll try to find it and retweet it. But it was just a very neat art style that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, the blend of like 3D graphics with pixel, it's just, yeah, it's awesome. Like I can't wait to see more of it.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Well, any more indies you want to do before we go? Because I don't know if my games would be considered indie.
Um, as far as indie goes, those are my top picks. I think
Okay.
we haven't really. I'm sure there's more in the works that we're forgetting to mention, but there's just so many great games coming out next year. It's hard to cover them all.
Yeah. Just a follow up real quick. I'm gonna keep this in because people listen to Geek Freaks and then they listen to Pushing Buttons afterwards. They come out the day or a couple of days afterwards. Jonathan just texts me. He's like, I just found the TikTok with that Avatar trailer. It does says hashtag fan made, and he's got the sad face on there. He falls for fan made content all the
All
time,
the time.
guys. I can't tell you times if you sent me something from fan made. And he's like, Did you see this? I'm like, yeah, bro. That guy did a good job on it, but it's not real. That's so funny. He's such a geek. Okay, I'm gonna throw out Black Myth Wukong. This
Oh yes,
is one of the
yes.
first. I think it's the first really AAA title out of China, original development and everything like that. Um, I'm happy to see China get into this game because we see that they have avid players. You'd think that they'd be avid developers, and this kind of game is very different from the kind of game we would expect out of China. It's less gotcha, less stuff like that, less live service spammy or anything like that. But this is actually like a full fledged single player story driven game out of China. Uh, Combat looks fast and fresh, and it's going to be delving into the lore of China. Wukong, of course, is one of their mythical creatures or characters, and then we have a lot of the people he's fighting are also from that genre, which I know very little about. So I'm excited to learn more. It's much like when you're playing that God of War, and you're like, yeah, I know who Thor is and Loki and stuff, but then when you're like listening to Mimir tell these other stories, you're freaking on board. That again, but for China, I'm excited for.
Yeah, Black Myth, it's a whole new development studio. I think they have a lot of potential to deliver a very, similar experience to Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all that, but
Mhm.
still be, their own individuality, like be unique with it. And, we don't really get a lot of games that center on Chinese folklore or mythology.
Yeah.
And, you know, from my perspective, I'm just more keen on learning more about that as an individual, like getting that aspect of, you know, where a lot of Chinese philosophy or culture comes from, and
Yeah.
combining that with a Souls-like game is like the best way to get me interested. So sign me up.
Yeah. It looks really cool. Again, that combat's really fast too, in comparison to what you'd expect from a Souls type game. So I look forward to seeing how they're going to be able to mix and match that because it's almost action adventure with its pace.
It
We'll see
is.
how that goes.
If we're also since we're jumping off of that, Lies of P, I think that looks really cool as well as another Souls-like game.
I
It's
saw,
taking that
yeah.
steampunk, era and having like mechanical monsters that you fight. I think that's going to be really cool.
Is
Really cool setting. Victorian area.
okay, and you're saying that it's made out of China or no?
No, I believe it's a Korean studio,
Korean.
and
Okay,
they showed off a bit of it during the summer showcase.
that's right.
I'm not sure if it was for Sony or no, Sony wasn't there. I think it was Microsoft. And yeah, Liza P just looks like a gothic Victorian era Souls-like, kind of like Bloodborne, but more mechanical in design. Because the
That
main
looks
character
cool.
he plays is Pinocchio.
Okay, now I remember right away.
Yeah,
Now that you said that,
I was
okay,
trying to, yeah, get you to remember that one.
yeah.
I think it looks promising. Combat looks a bit, not as polished as say like Sekiro or Bloodborne, but I think it'll still be unique enough to, you know, pay the price of admission to
Hmm.
experience.
Let's go to Hellboy, which was revealed at the Game Awards. One thing I'm happy they're doing is they're using the animation style. I mean, it looks straight up out of comic book. It's drawn much like the comic book, so uh, it's gonna be dark, gritty, heavy lines, a lot of shading. I look forward to seeing that. It's gonna show up. Uh, I kind of think this would have been better or I think it would have done well as a Telltale type style game, but this looks like it's gonna be actually combat driven. So, hey, let's go. I'll play as Hellboy. I'm cool with that. Can't complain.
Oh, totally. Yeah, there's a lot of cool games that are, comic focused. I think we're finally going to get Wolf Among Us Part 2,
Yeah,
the sequel
it's
to
slated
that
for it.
2014 Telltale game. Like, I love
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us, one of my all-time favorite Telltale games. And, we haven't seen it really lately, but I'm hoping they'll make a full release this year.
I've got
Another
one
one,
more for sure on my list.
go ahead. Sure.
Well, okay. Either way, you're probably gonna mention it soon. Diablo 4.
Yep, we got a release date during the Game Awards for June 26th, I think. I could be
Mm-hmm.
wrong. I haven't played Diablo 3 yet, so I can't say I'm highly anticipating this, but I'm sure you are, and especially Kevin too.
Yeah. So we're gonna play that together on the stream, and you guys are gonna watch
We
him
will.
play Diablo 3 for the first time. And I'm probably gonna return to my witch doctor. I love my witch doctor. What class would you play in Diablo 3?
Let's see. In Diablo 2, I picked the Necromancer, and I really
Okay.
liked it a lot, so I'll probably go with that again.
Okay. Necromancer. I'm trying to think. They play very different, I think, than Diablo 3, but yeah, still
I
worth
think
trying
they're
out.
more like Death Knights in WoW. They summon
Yeah.
undead creatures to fight for them, and it was really fun to play that style because
Yeah.
I'm not like that in WoW. I play a hunter,
Yeah.
so
Well, you do summon an awful lot. In Diablo, I play Witch Doctor, which also kind of has that same gameplay. I'm always bringing up like goblins and or pestilence and stuff like that. Everything just kind of like throwing everything at the wall and just watching just it crumble down. It's fun. What else you got on your list over there?
yeah, there's some post-apocalyptic shooters I'm really looking forward to playing. The first one is Atomic Heart. We got a new
Oh,
trailer for that as
absolutely.
well during the Game
Yeah.
Awards. That is actually looking pretty great. Like, the more we've seen of it, it looks like it's going to be a really crazy fun time.
God, it's gonna be a good year. The
And
boss
not to
battles in
mention,
that game are outstanding looking.
yeah, the boss battles look really intense. And then we got robot waifus. Like, that sounds great. Sign me up.
What? I did not see that. I'm looking that up. Hold on, that's cool. I'm writing these all down so I can look them up later on.
And not to mention, along with that, we got a release date for Atomic Heart finally, which is in February. Man, those first 3 months of the year are going to be so packed. It's insane.
It's hard because the first 3 months of 2023 are great. The last 3 months of 2022 have been great. I mean, we don't have time to stop. That's crazy.
I know. Like summer kind of feels like the slow time now, which I guess it always has been in the past. Like it's always kind of been, spring or winter
Hmm.
releases where the big ones come out.
Yeah, we use that time to stay in theaters and watch movies, and then we go
We'll play
once it gets
WoW.
cold and we lock ourselves away. That's when we. Oh yeah, we play WoW, of course. That's year round, and then we lock ourselves away.
But
It's pretty
also
good.
in tow with Atomic Heart, like another post-apocalyptic game I'm looking forward to that's finally coming out is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Yeah.
That was going to come out this year, but I got delayed to 2023. I
Hmm.
think it was the right call. And we did get some more gameplay of that this year as well, and that looks pretty badass too. Like I love the Metro series. I don't know if you played those, but
Hmm.
those are fantastic shooters.
Yeah.
And Stalker 2, sign me up. I'm all for it.
That's on a lot of people's top like 10 most anticipated game for 2023. It's one of those games that I'll play eventually, but not in a bigger like the Metro games I play here and there. You know, and I haven't played a lot of them, but I need to. I'll do the same thing with Atomic or with that one. God, I already forgot the Stalker too. There it is. So I haven't written it down yet.
Well,
That's the problem. Is I got to write it all down.
I'll mention this for Kevin because I know he's really looking forward to this. He really wants to play Star Trek Resurgence.
Yes.
I believe that's like a Telltale style game for
Yeah.
Star Trek, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah. It looks like you're playing as the captain too. That should be cool. Fingers crossed that it comes out in time. Hopefully, it's not terrible. It's hard because Star Trek games are really hit and miss. Talk about hit and miss.
I was
There's
going to
like
say I think they are.
one
Yeah.
good one. That's tough. One good one in recent memory. Sorry, let me clarify because a lot of the old ones are very good. But yeah, I'm gonna throw out Pikmin 4 as well. I like the Pikmin series. I think it's something that Nintendo doesn't advertise very often, but they're actually very good games and a little puzzler, a little bit of army building games. So Pikmin 4 is coming out, and it looks if they're gonna build on what they've done with the Pikmin Wii U version, which they recently released back onto the Switch and polished it up a little bit, and it was gorgeous. So Pikmin 4, it's somehow going to be even better looking than that. Okay, let's see what you do.
So I want to kind of go over some games that, are coming out next year, but I think it'd be kind of fun to kind of explore why they're not anticipated for us. What do you
Okay.
think?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So one of the big ones is Redfall. This is Arcane
Yeah.
Studios, their follow-up to Deathloop. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a sequel, but it's like their next game.
Yeah.
And it's more like a co-op shooter, more so than a single player uh what's the genre? Like immersion? I can't remember now.
Yeah, but this one's
There's a
going to be kind of a
specific
Left
genre
4
for it.
Dead type of thing.
Immersive sim. That's what it's called.
Okay,
It's
there
their
we go.
next immersive sim, but it's co-op based, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that will work in that setting because what makes immersive sims so great are that they're immersive. They're
Yeah.
single player, which allows you to really delve in and give you player freedom to solve problems in a myriad of ways. But I think with Redfall being a vampire loot based shooter, it's not going to work as well. So
And
that's kind of why it's not so hyped up for me.
am I mistaken? Isn't it in the same world as the Vampire Masquerade series?
I don't think so. No,
I thought it was. Okay.
I really want this to be a good game, but I just don't know if it'll work because of the co-op aspect. I think
Yeah.
you can't really let yourself live in the world as immersively as I would like, so to
Squeaks
speak.
Squeaks is dogging on this game so hard already. I remember we
Yep.
watched the trailer together, and he was just like, "What is this hot shit?" I'm like, "Give it a shot. You don't know." And it's like right away, he's like, "Nope, this is gonna be garbage." Okay, man. And this is the same guy that buys me tickets to IMAX 3D Avatar 2. Blah 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 blah. Blah. I'm like, I have no. I mean, like, I'll watch it because I know pop culture wise and podcasting wise, I should watch it. But I'm not as excited as you are. He's like gonna be wearing blue makeup to the freaking theaters. I think. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's another topic for another time, I think, with Avatar, because
Yeah.
it's been 13 years, right? It's like the hype train has long gone. And,
Yeah.
while it looks fantastic, it's like I don't really feel that same feeling I did when I saw
Yeah.
the first, like the lead up to the first one was huge. I
I don't have
remember
I don't have any of that hype. James
vividly.
Cameron's way too confident. That bugs me. That he's just
That
like,
too.
oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. But yeah, Seth Meyers brought up the point where it's like it's faster to get to Pandora than it is to make Avatar 2. That's pretty bad because you have to go to stasis for that one. So you could get to Pandora almost back in time.
And we
But
also had, innovative technology because that movie was like the first big 3D movie
yeah,
with the glasses and everything. Like that was
what's
the first movie I ever saw 3D.
right? Yeah, well, yeah, and I saw it multiple times, all in 3D. What's funny though is this one being in 3D and everybody's pushing the 3D on it. It feels very retro because the phase of 3D has come and
It's
gone.
crazy.
This new phase
Yep.
of 3D, it's been it's been around. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, old school. Let's get the 3D glasses again. I don't do this anymore. And it's funny that like before it's pioneering it, now it's like a throwback. That's how
What's the last
freaking long.
3D movie you saw?
Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I watched it. I watched that
Wow,
multiple
that
times
long
in
ago, huh?
theaters. One of them was in 3D. Yeah.
I think mine was, oh God. No, it wasn't Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, that's pretty
It,
recent.
it
Wow.
yeah, it was a while ago. I think it was around that point, 2014, 2015. I
Okay,
can't
yeah.
remember though.
Yeah. And well, we're going back, boys. We're going to watch Avatar in 3D. We'll see how it is.
So speaking of other topics for other times, let's hit our favorite tried and true topic, Ubisoft.
Oh, boy. Yeah, there we go. Kevin's turning
Assassin's
over in
Creed
his bed.
Mirage. Are you excited for the new Assassin's Creed?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm hoping it'll build on the successes they've made so far. I like Assassin's Creed. I just do. So I'm excited for everything, but I don't think it's coming out this year. Is it coming out in 2023?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Mirage is first half of 2023.
Oh shit!
We
Oh
had
my
that
god,
whole Ubisoft showcase from I think October or September.
that's right. I didn't think it was so soon.
The
Okay,
Assassin's
yeah,
Creed showcase.
yeah. I am looking forward to that. Actually, I think that's gonna be because that one is specifically they're like using a lot of the elements from the first game. Um, this is one of the. I mean, I know we just spent an entire year saying this year's as good as 2018. That's never happened in a long time. Blah 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 blah. 2023 is gonna possibly outpace 2022. That's so crazy. Assassin's
Indeed.
Creed Mirage is a purchase for me. It is a very early purchase for me. Yeah, possibly day one.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I'm a Assassin's Creed
wait
fan.
because I still haven't played Odyssey or Valhalla, and
Yeah,
I'm way behind at this point. But if
I'm
Mirage is its own
in the midst
standalone
of
thing,
playing
I'll
all of
probably jump
those.
into it.
Yeah,
Indeed.
but this one's kind of so they're what they're doing at Ubisoft. I forgot about this conference. Now I remember. I'm remembering all the details to it. We talk a lot of stuff on Geek Freaks, guys. I'm sorry, but yeah, what they're doing is they're basically splitting up both gameplays into two different kinds of Assassin's Creed games. So we have the Valhalla Origins version, and we have the OG Assassin's Creed version, where it's much more assassin and city based. That's what this game's going to be, is like the OG version of it, which I am so much more on board with those. I like the other ones too. You guys know me in open world games, but I haven't played one of these in a while, and I'm excited to get back into those. Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
it's a return to form
yeah,
basically, and
exactly.
that's the most exciting part about it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm waiting with bated breath here. Kind of like with Skull and Bones too. That's also coming out next year.
Bullshit. Never coming out. That game is never coming out. Absolutely never.
That's been delayed so many times. It's
Yeah.
like I just don't care anymore.
They recently showed
Yeah.
a trailer for it. It must have been at the thing, and I was just like, "Oh, that's right. This is still a thing. It's still." I mean, it was like, okay. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of how long it's been, they got the idea from Assassin's Creed 4. That's where they got the
Yep.
idea for this game,
I think
and it's
that's
been
when
that
it was
long.
first announced.
Yeah,
Was around that time too.
because that's the sailing was introduced in that game, and so they're like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll just build off of that." So they went with it.
And
It's been
in
too
line
long.
with long delayed game releases, we got Dead Island 2 coming out next year finally.
Yeah,
But I think again, it's like too little, too late.
yeah. I know Daniel will play and
That's what
review that for us,
2023
but
is. It's
yeah,
it's the off delayed games and movies that are finally coming out in 2023.
it's the year of anticipation and possible disappointment. Get that
Indeed.
tattooed, boys.
There's a lot to cover.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to a lot of it, though. I'm hoping for the best. I know we have some tried and trues that are coming out, Diablos. Even a bad Diablo is a good Diablo. Or a bad Diablo is a good game. A Starfield, same thing. A bad game out of Bethesda is still a good game overall. Forspoken's the one that's going to disappoint me the most. I have a feeling. I am putting a
Oh,
lot
you got that
lot
demo.
on that one. I am playing the demo today. I'm playing the demo after this. I'm not going to edit this right away. I'm going right to my PS5 and downloading that. And hopefully I'm not
Maybe
going
I'll
to.
join you with that. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll download it. We'll see.
You're gonna see me in Discord tonight, and be like, "Stupid Forsaken, it's dumb. I'm not gonna play it." Oh man, that should be good.
Let's see. I think that about covers it for me. How about you?
I think we're good. I think we got a lot to look forward to. Let us know on our social media, guys. Which game are you most excited about, and which one are you a little worried is gonna disappoint you? Black Myth might disappoint us too, because it's a big jump for that.
Maybe. I think
You know?
Liza P will be kind of disappointing, but
Yeah.
then again, it's trying to be the next Bloodborne, so I don't know if that'll be, paying off for them, but we'll see.
Yeah. Generally, at Geek Freaks, we try to stay on the positive side of things. So there's always gonna be something good about all these games. Like Gotham Knights, for example. Yeah, it's not a perfect game. It's not as good as you thought it would be, but Squeaks is loving the shit out of it. People find love in it. So, yeah, I think we'll find that with pretty much all of these games here
Oh,
too.
Fire Emblem Engage is one I am actively not going to play because Fire Emblem today is not anywhere close to the quality it used to be.
If you like the Fire Emblem of old, Advance Wars is supposed to come out this year now. It was supposed
Oh
to come
yeah,
out
that
last year,
too.
but they had to delay it
Oh
because of the
yeah,
Ukraine invasion.
I
Um,
know. That'll be good, I
so
think.
yeah, that'll be good. If you like that kind of combat, planning out the combat, I love me Advance Wars, so that'll be coming out soon, hopefully.
Oh, and Death Stranding 2 I think is coming out next year,
No
which
way.
after playing the first one,
Already?
well they announced it
Oh
last
my
night
god.
or
Yeah, I know, but
Game Awards, but
yeah, but you'd think that they would announce it for 2024. I would assume.
we don't have a date, but it
You
could
know
come
what?
out next year,
Yeah.
maybe.
And you know what's ruining it to me is Marvel. Marvel announces things 5 years in advance, so I'm expecting everything to be out for 5 years. You're right though. Yeah, it probably is gonna be. Damn, 2023 is gonna be a very hard year.
Right.
Holy cow! And World
Yeah,
of
just
Warcraft's
with
so good right now too. That's what's nuts.
yeah, we got possibly two patches next year. I don't know. It's gonna be a
at
crazy time.
least I'm hoping that after the raid, which comes out after this episode comes out, I'm hoping the raid when it comes out, they announce the patch schedule. If they do that, Blizzard is straight up listening to the fans 100%. That would be
Yep.
so impressive.
Mhm.
Blizzard
We'll
has
have
been
to.
impressing me a lot lately, and we can only say that because Kevin's not on the show.
Yeah, and with the whole Microsoft acquisition under question now, with the FTC lawsuit, it's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what's going to happen now? Who
You
knows?
know, that's a shame. I was really rooting for that to go through because I know how good Microsoft treats their partners, and I, yeah, I don't think it's going to go through now with that. With FTC getting involved, that's the one that'll stop it. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I think I'm out of
I think I'm
other
good
things to
too.
talk about. That's it.
Yeah.
But let us know what your most anticipated or least anticipated game is for 2023 in our socials. We got Twitter. We also have Discord, our community where we get together for community night once a month. We just
Hmm.
played another night of Phasmophobia. It was
Oof.
awesome. We need a
Don't go
fourth
to the high
player.
school.
Don't go to the high school. Yeah, that's terrifying.
We do need a fourth
Uh,
player though, so if anybody wants to sign up for the community nights, please join our Discord. The
this
events,
up.
I'll set it up soon for the next one. But that high school is terrifying. We didn't
Oh
even
man,
encounter a
that's bad.
ghost. I think did you encounter a ghost at all while we were in there?
I think I heard one, but I didn't see it because it was just too oppressive of an environment. I had to
Yeah,
get out of there. Like, yeah, it
that
was
was terrifying.
definitely.
We
It's
spent the
too much,
entire time
man.
in the high school just freaking out and then like, okay, bye, we're done. Pick a
We
ghost. Okay,
just
yeah, sure, it's
walked
that
through
one.
it once, and then we were like, nope.
We'd make the worst ghost hunters.
You would.
Last night, by the way, this mother hutter killed me last night because we're like,
I
oh,
did.
let's light the candle so we can see if it blows it out. And instead, you sure light that candle, but you also light all the red ones, which then traps the ghost for a moment and gets into attack mode. And my job is to take a nice picture of the ghost. So I'm trying to get a nice clear shot. Okay, guys, I got a good one. I turn around. They're gone. So I go sprinting after these two, and you can only sprint for so long. All of a sudden, I'm dying out of breath, and then I'm dying, and then the ghost kills me.
The $25 daily reward was just too tempting. I couldn't pass that up.
I lost 50% of all money made in that game.
Well, to be fair, I died later in that
Yeah,
same
yeah.
contract, so there you
That
go. You
that
got your
ghost was
comeuppance.
very aggressive. That was a very angry ghost. Oh man. All right, that is it for we're done talking, guys. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a
Bye.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and have a Happy New Year.
Yep, yep.
Peace.
Peace.
Love you.